Are you okay sitting there? Usually you're over here. You okay, Dan? Dick took your spot. I apologize. You guys might have to switch. We'll talk later. 3 quick points. No, they're not quick at all. Sorry, I just lied to you. Justice, evangelization, and humility. The first reading, second reading, and gospel clearly talk about if you exalt yourself, you will be humbled, but if you humble yourself, you'll be exalted. First and foremost, justice. For all the young people, middle-aged and older, mostly young, who have a greater opportunity to cheat in school or to take shortcuts, you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous. You might get away with it now. Sometimes in life, bad people get away with doing bad, stupid, evil things. They do. The FBI can't catch everybody. God will get people who need to be punished in the end. I want you to believe that because it's true. And if you do something hidden that nobody knows about, you'll get your reward in the end. Don't live in this life just to be noticed and get recognition, to get rewards that people see here and now rather than what's going to come later there and then. Because God knows all this. You can fake out your mom only so much. And your teachers. And I hate to blow this open for everybody. Teachers know more than you think they know. They play along with you. They know who the troublemakers are in the class. They do. Now, why mom and dad don't confront more, that's a whole other issue. I'm not a parent. I'm not going to get into it. I think in many cases they just want to get through dinner. But they know what's going on. You're not the wisest crook. You think you are. So, having said that, there will be justice. Point number 1. Point number 2, evangelization. Yesterday, the parish put out a lot of resources to have a block party, and it rained. So they put out people, energy, resources, so the party got moved inside. The party went inside. So I know from at least a couple stories, there were some people, non-St. Thomas people, who showed up. They were met with fellowship. They were met by hospitality. And hopefully we had some ongoing effect on non-parishioners or non-attendees. A good positive effect with beginning a relationship or growing in a relationship with Jesus. Always remember this. Evangelizing is not an option. We all have to make known our testimony. Don't go to Judgment Day. You don't want to show up on the Lord's front steps one day without being an evangelizer. You gave testimony by your life, and also your words, and your life, your actions, that Jesus Christ is the most real person. He's the most awesome. Salvation is real. You don't want to fall underneath the accusation, I kept my mouth shut. I just went along to get along. I never talked about Jesus. Because we need to know that's a requirement. Being successful is not. It's not. Why did it rain yesterday on our parade, so to speak? I have no idea. We're not responsible for being successful to get more people into the church. We're required to just do it and let God figure out the outcome. Let God figure out the results. Do you get that? So you can try 1,000 times. I'm sure I've tried it. I'm positive. 1,000 various conversations I've had with people. If I won, excuse me, a wrong way to speak of that. If I helped in one case, bam. If I helped in no cases, it still looks good on my I want to say jacket, looks good on my record before the Lord. Our responsibility is to try to help others. We're not always going to be successful. So what? For some of you, it's a discouragement. Don't be discouraged. Be encouraged. We have found the pearl of great price. We have found him who the prophets talked about. He's in our midst. We're about to receive him as Catholic Christians. Nothing greater. No treasure, no riches, no prominence, no YouTube video, no texting. Nothing so great as that. So don't worry about the outcome. Let God have the outcomes. But always do so. Now, I was at South Street. South Street is Woodstock. There's a hospice care there. On the way home, on the way there actually, my engine light was on. So I stopped off at the dealership. My dealership was on 14 and it's not a Bentley dealership, I assure you. I'm not driving a Bentley, okay? Just want you to know, in case you were wondering. Father does not have a private Bentley somewhere. But I don't want to tell you where I went, John Riker. Anyway, I was there. I'm the only guy in the service area. So what do? Free coffee. They're good at free coffee, service department. They're going to check my engine light. So a salesperson comes over. I know the guy. I know of him. His father works at Huntley, St. Mary's. We start talking the faith. Another car salesperson comes over. A third car sales, this one's a woman. She comes over. We're talking about Jesus. To our fallaways. I always try this one, sorry. Are you divorced? Yes, I am. How did you know? Happens a lot. Fall away from, the marriage doesn't work out. If you're divorced and you're in church, God bless you. God bless you. Seriously. So many people get divorced, they fall out. The marriage didn't work. God, whatever they may have choose to think about God, Willow Creek. They've already done statistics on this. How many people are attending? And God bless them, they're attending. But how many are from divorced couples? And how many were ex-Catholics? So, I said, are you divorced? Yes, I am. How did you know that? I do this for a living. So we start going a little further. I'm just talking about Jesus. Why? Because I like to talk about Jesus. I like to talk about Jesus. I like Jesus. So, go a little further. The narcissist comes out in me. I says, hey, let's go to a computer. I gave a homily Saturday night with the Little Sisters of the Poor. I want you to see it. So, there's no one in the showroom. So we go over to the computer, they put on the St. Thomas website homepage, scroll down to homily archives, hit the button, put me on, or Monsignor, or fellas, or whoever else is talking, and so I'm giving a homily. I'm watching. This is the epitome of narcissism. If you don't know what narcissism is, it's a self-glorification. It's not good. This is not a good example. This would be a bad example. We learn from good examples and bad examples. So I'm in a showroom with 3 car dealers watching a video of me giving a homily. So a 4th guy comes over. I'm assuming he's in the parts department. He's got a work shirt on in the parts department. A simple assumption. Don't make assumptions. We already know that, but I did. So the homily the video gets done. So I said to the fella, I said, what department do you work in? He goes, I don't work in any department. I'm here to buy a car. Nobody will sell me one. I'm not kidding. But he had it on the internet, and he knew what he was going to pay, and this guy was a savvy buyer, obviously. But anyway, that happened. Was it successful? I have no idea. Did I enjoy doing it? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't consider it filling in time. I like talking about Jesus. It's something I do. And generally speaking, it's not fear. People say, well, I'm afraid to talk. You know what? Maybe for some of you it's fear. I think for a lot of us, we're just not filled up enough with Jesus Christ. I think what comes out of our mouth is generally what's in our hearts. And I mentioned this about the restaurant, the breakfast joint I eat at in town. What's the best breakfast? I don't know. Because Andy's got the best skillets. But Benedict's is the best restaurant. I'm just letting you know. My opinion. Whatever. It's worth 2 cents. Yes, around the clock is fine. I have no problem around the clock. No problem. It's a nice place. But, listen to people once in a while. If you're eating your meal, just stop what you're doing and just listen. What are they talking about? I'm not talking about generally. I'm talking about Jesus. I'm not talking about going to church. How much can you talk about clothes? If another person stops my meal and shows me an internet picture, I'm going to scream. I'm talking to you. I can see you. Why do I got to look at Billy's internet picture? Why do I care what Susie had for dinner yesterday night in Morocco? Who cares? This stuff is getting psychotic, and it's affecting me. The point is, which there's a point somewhere in all that. People are afraid to evangelize. They're not afraid to evangelize. They got to get filled up more with Christ. We got to be more humble to let him in and accept him. Which brings me to the third and last point: humility. I'll tell you what's not humility. What's not humility is, I got this. I don't need to go to Mass. I don't need to go to church. I don't need God's grace in my life. I don't need it. I don't need help. Like when a husband and wife are driving and the husband is lost. And the wife says to the husband, do you know where you are? He says, honey, don't worry, I got this one. You know the translation of that is? We will never see living people again. The stuff in Arizona that blows. What's that stuff called? That stuff. Whatever you call it. Next thing you know, you're in a Western. And there's no people. And there's vacant buildings. And there was a nuclear bomb went off like a year earlier. You ventured into that road, studio or whatever it is, 51, whatever it's called. I don't know, you know what I mean. What UFOs are, what those people are. You wind up in that town. Humility is not, I can do this on my own. I don't need help. You know, I'm always shocked on the way to Mass Whether it's Lakewood, the nice walk along the lake from Gate 3 all the way up into the 20s, the bicyclists up and down the Oak Street, the Health Bridge people, that's wonderful, taking care of your body. What about your soul? The fact that you're at Mass today, God bless you. You came to fill up your soul. You came to say, hey, there's a spiritual side to me. I need to nurture it. I need to feed it. I need to water it. I need to grow it. I need to pay particular attention to it. Humility is knowing I'm not the boss. There's a power greater than myself. I need help. Help. I need grace. I need God. I need forgiveness. And unfortunately, pride to me is a sister or a brother to ingratitude. They go together. And what does ingratitude lead to? Resentments, negativity. Hey, did you wake up this morning and thank God? Usually we have a woman who does the sign language here. Are you thanking God that you can hear today? How about food? What did I eat? I had a salad and I had a juicy. I'm hungry. I'm going to get some food later. Your stomach, can you eat some food later? You got the means to have some food? You're going to be okay? Do we thank God for that? Do you thank God for the running water? See, gratitude changes everything. Gratitude turns the whole thing upside down. Pride leads to resentment. Pride leads to envy. Pride leads to jealousy. Humility leads to receptivity. God, thank you. I'm joyous. I'm more free. Humility is, I came from dust. I really did. Look, I saw the movie. The Meaning of Everything. Stephen Hawking's. Is that the name of the movie? Right? The Meaning of... Anyone know this movie? I saw the movie. It's very well done. Stephen Hawking is one of the most acclaimed physicists. Nice movie. I'm not impressed. As a non-physicist, I'm not impressed with dark holes. I don't get it. You lost me. The point is, all these science people chasing science for all these answers, I am not impressed. Neither with the movie or with the claim that the meaning of life is somehow going to be found in a dark hole somewhere. That's really crazy. And these are very smart people. Cambridge. I went to Cambridge. I'm from Oxford. I'm from MIT, Caltech, Stanford. All at the same time. Oh, yes. I've got 4 PhDs. I'm sorry. They had me, they lost me. When I didn't know anything about it before I saw the movie, I was a little impressed. Now I'm not impressed. What are you going after there? All the science in the world will not give you the meaning of life. All the science in the world, sadly, to people who are unhinged without faith. If you are unhinged, unanchored with faith, you think that the next scientific discovery is going to tell you why you're here, or where you're going, or profess the resurrection of the righteous? No, we need more humility. Father, you're definitely full of yourself. Yes, I am. Could you tell us a little bit about humility? I can tell you a little bit about it. I know it's not about me. I know it's about emptying myself. I know it's about inner poverty. I know John the Baptist had a great line regarding humility. I must decrease so that he can increase. So humility is the focus here. And you think about Jesus before Pilate, how he kept his mouth shut. So you are a king. Yeah, not of this world, not of this world. I can't imagine being Jesus in that scene with Pilate falsely accusing me and holding over me death. So you are a king. Yeah, I'm a king, and when I get through with you. No, that's not you. Thank you. Come all the time, sit right there. You just got bumped, Danny. Stay right there. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Aren't you impressed with his humility? How about the baptism scene? I don't need to be baptized. I don't have any sins. Oh, I'm going to do it for the people. I'm going to show them the way into salvation. He who knew no sin took on sin for us. He was quiet before Pilate. He didn't make his case. He didn't say this is a kangaroo court. He didn't call Pilate a bum and say, whoa, wait till the judgment of the righteous. Boy, you're going to be in a sulfur pit burning with some guy with a pitchfork. Humility, humility, humility. So here's the conclusion of this whole talk. We got to spend more time in prayer, humbling ourselves. I had a beautiful conversation regarding this book. The cover of this book, the name is Contemplative Hunger. There's lots of books out there. This is the one I'm pushing. It's been written by a priest friend of mine who was my professor. He wrote this book while being in Ethiopia, serving the missionaries of charity in the poorest and humblest of circumstances. This book is on the cover of the bookstore across from a coffee shop downtown Crystal Lake. So that's all you need to know. Go to the coffee shop downtown, you know the coffee shop, next to Benedict's, across the street. The cover of this book is on the front door, along with me meeting the Pope, which has nothing to do with humility. But anyway, that did happen. This book, I'm bringing this to your attention because, I had a lovely conversation with a mom recently. And she made the case that in her prayer, she sets aside an hour at a time, each day. And she said a lot of her prayer is petitioning. And I challenged that from the book. I challenged it. I go, when you spend, let me talk to you. If you set aside a certain amount of time a day to pray, if you don't, you got to start. You got to start. It's a non-negotiable. Evangelization is non-negotiable. Setting aside some time every day for prayer is a non-negotiable. It's a non-starter. You got to do so. When you pray in your private moments, how much time do you spend petitioning? You got kids that are wayward. You pray for them. Your husband, your wife, your job, okay. The world, the country, okay. The poor, the people in jail, the law enforcement, the military, people with AIDS, people in jail. Keep going. The unemployed, the hungry, the starved. We can keep going. I'm sure we would have run out of time before it got dark. How about trying this? Go into the chapel or into your house, wherever you pray, and settle yourself. And just for a short while, trust me, they'll be there when you get done. Forget every other relationship you have. First pray for them, then forget them. I'm not kidding. Forget your spouse for a second. Forget your children for 1 second, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Forget your job. Forget your money problems. Forget your relationship issues. Forget everything. And enter as a child. Child? Yeah, a child. You know a child. Dependent, impressionable, receptive, trusting. The problems you came into prayer with will be there when you get out. But the time you spent with the Lord, with a receptive, humble, bowed heart, could be of inestimable value, leading you to an ever greater experience of God and your deepest identity, which is not those titles. Those titles are the same reason we get tied up in knots. They're important. I'm not disputing the importance of momhood, fatherhood, brotherhood, priesthood. But the title that we have most in common is childhood of the same Father. And we're all brothers and sisters. And we're all loved equally. Page 104, baby. Mom and dad, kids, I don't know who can read this, who can't read it. I offered a blanket statement. Call me with a page number and a sentence. We'll talk on the phone. Won't be a long conversation, but we will talk on the phone. Call me. Page 104 says this. If God is going to give you a real serious gift, he doesn't say this in the book, but I'll ad lib. It ain't money. It ain't the car. It ain't the clothes. It ain't 9,000 Facebook friends. If God is going to give you a gift, it's going to be a desire to surrender more to his perfect will that could not have come from me. If God is going to give you a gift, he's going to give you the desire to surrender more. So that, like a child, even if you walk into the valley of darkness, like a trusting child with Christ by your side, there's nothing you shall fear.